It's the sound of someone choosing their next move with precision. Michael keeps smiling, unaware or pretending not to notice the sudden chill. Around them, the studio lights hum softly, an electric buzz filling the silence that follows. Behind the cameras, a stagehand exhales a bit too loudly. Kevin lifts his head slowly. The warmth usually behind his eyes is gone, replaced with something cooler, sharper, a shift from actor to strategist. Going over the same point, he repeats, tone, calm, and measured. That's an interesting way to frame it. Where? Michael laughs lightly, trying to keep the tempo steady. Well, you know, you've given us Dances with Wolves, Open Range, Yellowstone classics. All of them. All of them. I think people are just curious how this new one sets itself apart. Kevin leans back, studying him like a poker player sizing up an opponent before the final card. Let me ask you something, Michael, he says, voice dropping an octave. When you played football, did you only throw one kind of pass? Or did you adjust based on what the defense gave you? The question hits hard. Michael blinks, caught off guard. He tries to laugh. Well, I was a defensive end, so I didn't really throw passes, he says, that easy grin wavering. Kevin doesn't smile. But you get the point. The studio feels smaller now, more confined. The usual audience laughter doesn't come. The floor manager lowers his cue card halfway, unsure about signaling a commercial break. Michael shifts in his chair, straightening his back. Of course, he says, softening his tone. I just meant some people see this as familiar territory for you. Kevin tilts his head, voice steady with an edge. You mean the American West? Stories about survival, sacrifice, and the moral cost of progress. Do you think those stories stop being worth telling just because I've told them before? There's no anger in his voice, but its weight fills the room. The audience feels it, the tightening in their chests, the sense this isn't going to be a typical friendly celebrity chat. Michael nods, forced eyes flicking to the teleprompter as if searching for help. He opens his mouth, but Kevin is still speaking, calm and unyielding. These stories aren't about nostalgia, Michael. They're about foundation, about who we are, who we were, and what we lost trying to get here. The words cut through the air. No one moves. The control room falls silent. Someone whispers, "Do we cut to break?" But no one responds. Micah adjusts his tie, discomfort showing briefly. He's not used to losing control on his own set. Kevin leans forward, elbows on his knees, voice dropping into a slow, deliberate cadence. Retreading old ground, he repeats again, this time with a faint smile that never reaches his eyes. That's an interesting way to frame it. The moment stretches, feeling almost dangerous. Michael's smile fades. There thickens, chars, somewhere in the audience. Someone swallows. They don't know what's coming, but they can feel something shift. For the first time that morning, "Good morning, America," doesn't feel good at all. Michael clears his throat, his smile pulled tight like a rope. "Well," he says, forcing a laugh, "I think a lot of people just want to know what's new this time. Kevin, what makes it different?" Kevin's eyes narrow slightly, that glint of steel still present. "A lot of people," he repeats, softly. "Or the producers who wrote that question on your cards. The room seems to lose its air. You can feel the oxygen vanish. Audience members exchange uneasy looks. A camera operator shifts, adjusting the lens, though nothing needs adjusting. Michael's laugh escapes too quickly. Michael's voice slices through the tension sharp now, stripped of any charm. "You don't get to sit here and tell me how to do my job." His tone is louder than before, carrying a tremor the microphones can't hide. The studio seems to shrink, every sound amplified. Kevin doesn't react. Eliane's bike hands loosely clasped in his lap. The picture of calm control. "I'm not telling you how to do your job," he replies evenly. "I'm asking why you stopped caring about it." Michael's eyes flare. "Excuse me?" Kevin's gaze holds steady. "You used to ask questions because you wanted the answers. Now, you ask them for the moment to clip." Their reaction. You're chasing attention instead of truth. Michael points at him. The gesture is sharp and automatic. You don't know me. You don't know what I care about. Kevin nods, slow and deliberate. You're right. I don't know you, but I do know what you've shown me today. The audience is completely silent. The lights hum. A camera lens gives a faint mechanical whir as it refocuses. Michael's breathing quickens, his chest rising and falling. His hand still raised shakes slightly before he lowers it to the desk. What I've shown you, he says, through clenched teeth, is that I can hold my own when someone walks in here trying to lecture me on live TV. Kevin's voice remains calm. Almost gentle, but something sharp sits beneath it. Lecture? No. This isn't a lecture. It's a reminder. Michael leans forward, voice cracking at the edges. A reminder of what? That somewhere along the way, Kevin says, eyes fixed on him, you forgot what respect really means. Respect isn't smiling through an interview or pretending to care. It's preparation. It's curiosity. It's giving the person across from you the courtesy of being understood. The words land hard-measured, deliberate. Final dot. Michael shakes his head, voice rising. I've interviewed presidents, world leaders, artists, athletes, every kind of person you can name, and I've done it with respect every single time. Kevin leans in now, narrowing the distance. His voice stays low, unyielding. Then why does this feel different? Why does it feel like you're Ray? Performing, not listening. Like this chair, this set, this brand swallowed the person you used to be. Michael opens his mouth, but nothing comes out. The question hits too close. His jaw tightens. A vein in his temple stands out under the harsh lights. You've made this show about you. Kevin continues, voice steady but weighted, about your image, your name, your control. But the thing about control, Michael, is the more you try to hold it, the faster it slips away. Michael grips the edge of the desk. You think you've got me figured out? Kevin's expression softens barely. I think you've forgotten who you are. Forgotten why you started. You used to stand for something real. Now, you stand for what's trending. The words cut cleanly, no shouting, no spectacle, just precision. The kind of truth that leaves marks. A long beat passes. Neither man speaks. The silence feels alive, dense. The crew behind the cameras has stopped moving entirely. In the control booth, someone whispers, "We can't cut now." The director only shakes his head. Michael exhales at last, voice quieter but still tight. So that's what this is. You're testing me. Kevin answers softly, steady. No, I'm showing you the mirror. What you do with what you see, that, Sonia. For a moment, the lights seem to flicker, or maybe it's just the heat weighing on both of them. Michael leans back, eyes dropping to the desk, then lifting again. His breath slows. Kevin stays still, unblinking. The room hangs, suspended. The energy that once crackled with confrontation now hums with something deeper: realization, discomfort, truth. The camera drifts slowly toward the audience. Rows of faces sit frozen mid-breath, eyes wide. No one moves. No applause, no coughs. They're witnessing something raw, unscripted, impossible to turn away from. In the quiet, the hum of the lights becomes the only sound, pulsing like a heartbeat. For a moment, it stops feeling like television and becomes something far more dangerous. Honesty, live and unfiltered. The silence stretches so long, it feels as if time itself has stopped inhaling. Michael's shoulders lift and fall as he exhales, his expression hovering between defiance and surrender. Then, gradually, he eases back into his chair. The motion is small, but it carries the weight of a flag lowered after a long fight. He studies Kevin, the anger in his eyes giving way to something softer. All right, he says at last, voice lower and more even. Then tell me, what should I've asked you? The tension in Kevin's jaw loosens. For the first time since the camera began rolling, he looks less like a man braced for impact and more like someone ready to speak truthfully. He leans in slightly, hands resting on the edge of the desk. The sharpness of confrontation fades, replaced by a worn sincerity. "You should have asked me why," he says quietly. "Why? After everything. After Yellowstone. After all the success. I walked away from something guaranteed." Michael listens, truly listens. No forced smile. No camera-ready nodding. Just focused attention. Kevin's voice softens into something steady, almost reflective. "I left because I was comfortable. Too comfortable. And comfort kills art. It dulls your instincts, makes you scared to take risks. Yellowstone became a success beyond anything I expected, but it also became a machine predictable, safe. And the moment you choose safety over truth, you stop being an artist. The atmosphere shifts. The heat from the lights no longer feels harsh. It's warm, human. Ache of cabinets. Words carries weight, drawing everyone closer. "I wanted to tell a story that scared me again," he continues. "Something that could fail. Something that mattered more than ratings or algorithms. This new series, it's about two brothers divided by the Civil War. About loyalty, betrayal, and what happens when love and duty pull you apart. It's not flashy. It's not made for social media. It's slow, painful. Honest, and that's why I had to make it." Michael nods, features softening. "You left certainty for struggle." "Yeah," Kevin murmurs, allowing himself a faint smile. "I left comfort for purpose. Everyone tells you to chase success, but no one teaches you how to walk away from it when it starts changing you." There's a quiet exhaustion in his voice, years of spotlight. Years spent fighting for stories that matter in a world that prizes the easy and the shallow. "I'm not making just another Western," Kevin says, eyes catching the studio lights. "I'm clinging to the soul of storytelling, making something that doesn't beg for approval, that doesn't apologize for being hard to watch or hard to feel." Michael leans forward, elbows on the desk, completely drawn in. The hostility between them has dissolved into a delicate understanding. Two men from different worlds meeting in honesty. "You know," Michael says softly, "most people would have stayed. Played it safe. Taken the check." Kevin's voice drops to a near whisper, but the words echo through the space. "I'm tired of playing it safe." The air shifts once more, not with tension, but reverence. The crew stands still, not shocked now, but respectful. In the control room, hands hover over switches no one dares to touch. For the first time that morning, there's no performance, no personas, no facade, only truth. Raw, unfiltered. Human. Kevin looks across the table. His voice, softer now. "That's the thing about art, Michael. It only matters if you're willing to risk something for it." Michael nods. And for a moment, they're no longer interviewer and guest, just two men facing the same mirror, seeing their flaws and their courage reflected back at them. The studio stays silent, suspended in that fragile pause. In that stillness, Kevin Costner's final words settle over the room like a promise. "I'm tired of playing it safe." Michael's tone has shifted entirely. The sharpness is gone. What remains is curiosity, real, unguarded. He leans forward a little, his voice quieter, more deliberate. "So tell me, Kevin, what do you want people to feel when they watch it?" Kevin takes a moment before answering. His hands rest on the table, fingers still. His gaze drifts past the lights and cameras, as if he's looking directly into the heart of the story. When he finally speaks, his voice carries that gravelly depth, slow, intentional, the kind of tone that makes people lean in. "I want them to see themselves as softly. This story is about two brothers on opposite sides of the Civil War. One fights for freedom, the other fights for home. Both believe they're doing the right thing. Both are wrong. Both are right. It's not about heroes or villains. It's about people trying to make sense of a world that's tearing itself apart." Michael nods. Gaze steady. "Sounds like more than a period piece." "It is," Kevin replies. "It's about us. Now, look around. You can see it. Families split apart. Friends cutting ties over beliefs. Communities fractured by anger. We've gotten so addicted to being right that we've forgotten how to understand. These brothers, that division. They're America arguing with itself. The room falls silent again. But this time, the quiet feels reverent. Even the lights seem to hum more softly. Michael leans in, voice hushed. So how do you tell that story without choosing sides? Kevin's answer comes low and steady, lined with conviction. You don't judge them. You don't turn it into a sermon. You show their humanity, their doubt, their fear, the moments when they question everything they're fighting for. Because truth lives there in the gray areas. In the contradictions, he pauses, eyes catching the light. People think empathy means agreement. It doesn't. It means understanding. It means being brave enough to look at someone you disagree with and still see a human being. Somewhere along the way, we lost that. Michael exhales slowly, the realization clear on his face. You're not just talking about this show. Kevin shakes his head. No. I'm talking about all of us. About how art is supposed to wake us up. It's not meant to make us comfortable. It's meant to make us question the things we take for granted. His voice turns raw and polished. True. When I look at these two brothers on screen, I see every argument happening in this country. We've stopped listening. We've started labeling. We draw lines, build walls, call it conviction. But in the end, we're all just trying to survive what we believe in. Michael nods, slowly absorbing every word. His usual composure is gone. There's no performance left. Only the quiet awe of someone genuinely moved. That's heavy. He says, finally. It should be, Kevin replies. His voice drops even lower, rough around the edges. Art should be heavy. It should challenge you. It should make you sit with the discomfort and ask, what would I do? Who would I be in that story? That's how you grow. That's how you remember you're still human. For a long moment, neither man speaks. The entire room has shifted from confrontation to connection. There's no guest, no host, no performer, no interviewer. Just two people under bright lights, finally having an honest conversation. Michael breaks the silence. Quiet but sure, Michael says. That's what real storytelling is, isn't it? Kevin looks at him, a small smile pulling at the corner of his mouth. That's the only kind that matters. Michael nods, holding Kevin's gaze. That's real art. Kevin's expression softens. Exactly. Exactly. The word hangs in the air like a final note. That's real art. Micah leans back, hands clasped on the desk, eyes lowered for a long moment. The silence between them isn't heavy any, more it's calm, reflective, like the sky after a storm. When he finally speaks, his voice is softer than it's been all morning. You're right, he says. E was surface level. I came in with my questions pre-written, not realizing there was something deeper sitting across from me. Kevin studies him, then gives a single nod. There's no triumph on his face, no sense of winning, just quiet respect. Nobody's perfect, he says gently. What matters is that you listened. Michael lifts his eyes to meet his. Steady. Now. Deeth. And I'll tell you this, I've been in this chair for years, interviewing the biggest names in the world, and I can't remember the last time someone made me think like this. Kevin offers a small, human smile. Then maybe that's what today was about. Not the show, not the series, just two people remembering how to have a real conversation. For a moment, neither of them moves. Then Michael extends his hand across the desk. The gesture is simple, but it carries every word that is obeyed spoken, every truth laid bare. Kevin looks at it, then grips it firmly, without hesitation. The handshake isn't polished or posed. It's raw, earned. The studio audience, silent for nearly 20 minutes. Finally, then, like a wave breaking loose, applause fills the room. Not the timed Polite clap of daytime TV rail applause. Loud, spontaneous, emotional. People aren't clapping because the segment is ending. They're clapping because something genuine just unfolded in front of them. Something unscripted. Something human. Michael glances at the audience, then back to Kevin. "You know," he says, his voice nearly drowned by the applause, "when you walked in here, I thought this would be easy. Quick questions, a few laughs, 10 minutes tops." Kevin chuckles. "And instead you got your teeth kicked in." Michael laughs on, honest, relieved laugh. "Yeah," he admits, "but I needed it." Kevin leans back, still smiling. "We all do sometimes. We all need someone to hold us accountable. That's how we grow." The applause swells again, echoing through the studio like a standing ovation. For the first time all morning, the energy in the room feels light real, not manufactured. As the control room scrambles to wrap the segment, the camera lingers on the two men at the desk. Michael looks into the lens, voice sincere. "Kevin Costner's new series premieres next week, and if what happened here today is any indication, it's going to be something special. Not because it's comfortable, but because it's honest, and maybe that's what we need more of right now." Kevin nods, meeting the moment with quiet conviction. "That's all I've ever tried to do. Tell the truth as I see it, and hope it means something to someone still looking for what's real." The camera begins to rise. The lights dim, softening the glare. The applause fades into a reverent quiet, broken only by the hum of studio equipment. It feels as though every person in the room, crew, audience, viewers at home, had been holding their breath and is only now remembering how to breathe. The image holds for a few extra seconds. Two men who began as adversaries, now sitting in a shared understanding beneath the studio lights. No performance. No masks. Just truth. And as the screen finally fades, one unspoken line seems to linger in the room. In an age built on performance, sometimes the bravest thing you can do is tell the truth even when your voice trembles. The lights fade completely. The show moves on. But what just happened doesn't fade with the credits. It lingers in the studio, in the audience, in the hearts of everyone watching. Because for a brief, fragile moment, live television remembered what it was meant to be: human.